welcome back. I'm really hoping that has worked. If not, that's a pain, and I don't know how I'm going to change that. Yes, I do know how I'm going to change that. As we have our first cars out of the garage. You really have to name yourself WXVY, so I can't pronounce it? Okay, WXVY in the Haas chart. Haas bottom of the constructors after the first round. I'm trying to change the title. Because it probably, let me guess, hasn't changed. Gonna make a big guess on that one. I'm not logged in there either. See, I'm not logged in other than on my PlayStation. And if that's not registering the change, I don't know what to do. Anyway, WXVY, first man on a lap here in this quali session. That's the wrong button. Hang on, I will get used to it. Right, on the Discord, it has changed to X3 round 2 now, so I'm hoping that's also worked on the Twitch. The WXVY will be the man to set a lap here. Let me hide. No, not that. How do I get rid of this? Behind me. Yes, I can. Perfect. Here we go. Round the final corner, make sure not to exceed track limits. The first lap of the day, 104.6. I need full track limits. Sure. Next around the track will be the Mercedes of Nick, who has just started his lap, as is the McLaren of Ellen. Next round will be the Williams of Daniel, who is on a lap and has gone purple. In Sector 2. Yellow flag, I think that's just for someone on the map. Daniel. Did okay, got pole in Bahrain. Can he repeat that here? And get pole in Austria. Rounds the final corner. And sets a 104.4, 2 tenths quicker, about 2.5 tenths quicker than the Haas. Red Bull of, that's the wrong Red Bull, Paul Diver has just started the lap. The other Haas car of a Drake, the man who won in Bahrain. He's setting a lap on mediums, so this isn't going to be representative of his true pace. So we shouldn't worry too much. The Merc here of Nick coming around the final corner now. It doesn't look great as a lap time, and it's not. It's a 105.2. That's lowest of everyone so far, admittedly. Only 3 drivers have been. More yellow flags as people get out of the way, as that is Chaz that comes out. Ellen must have made a mistake on their lap with a 1 minute 14.9. And then we wait for the Red Bull of Pool Diver. Should be in and amongst the front runners. Maybe not, judging by this looks like a slow lap. I think he's made a mistake here somewhere as well. They're just flashing yellow flag for the back mark. It's a 106.9. It was an invalid lap anyway, so that's fine. The Sauber of Nisev. 104.0, but that was invalid. Who have I misdriven for? Is that Williams? Yeah, that's Daniel who set another lap, so he's going again here by the looks of things. He thinks he can improve. Ellen nearly invalidates there on the track limits, does invalidate at the final corner. And then, I've no idea what that was. Chaz, starting his first flying. As we wait for others to go around, there looks to be a bit of a build-up here. Of Icky, being slightly held up, I think, by the Williams. What will this be as a lap? 104.5, that puts him in second. Pool Diver. This is also invalid. So he'll be going again. McLaren of Dima, that is. That's totally awesome, but also known as being up in the server. He will set his first lap here now. That is... There's an RB that's set 1:17.3 that I've completely missed go over the line. And Nick looks like he's going again. Oh, nearly spins. McLaren behind Ellen, also on an in-lap. Then it's Jay, who is 7 seconds up, but that's surely not enough. That's a 1:10, unless he's going to gain even more time here. There's also the Ferrari, I believe that's Chaz behind him. That's invalid by Jay. That also looks like it's invalid by Chaz here, and it is, so he's going again now. Then it's the 2 Red Bulls. Is Paul Diver finally setting a lap? No, he's going again, but this looks like a valid lap, this time at least. Or is he giving Icky a tow? This could be a good strategy here from Red Bull, but who's the McLaren that's just snuck in behind them? It's D-Mub who set a 1:04.4, ever so slightly into the 1:04.4s, but this could be a really good tow to get as Paul Diver moves out the way. I don't know what's happened behind, if there's any holding up there. But Paul Diver with his 1:10 puts in P6 at the minute. Why is Stream Element saying we're just now live? We've been live a few minutes. Anyway, still a lot of drivers haven't set a lap yet. So is that Chaz on a proper lap? Yes, it is. Hasn't invalidated yet. Won't invalidate. What will this lap be? 1:04.4 by 200ths of a second, goes quicker than Daniel and puts himself into P1. We're now waiting for Icky, who pits. Ryan. Oh, a bit squirrely there into the penultimate corner. This will be a 1:05.0, P6. A Drake round the final corner. Obviously the season opener, goes P5, just ahead of his teammate at 1:04.5. Red Bull ring quali is normally quite tight. Might as well have just called it Austria. I don't know why I decided to go with the full name here. It's Nisev on a lap, starts his lap now, but we are waiting for, is that Ellen on that lap? Yes. Malachi is still in the pits, so this could Chaz on an in-lap. We've not really got anyone on a lap right now. It's you're on an in-lap. Unless this is invalid. Ryan is on an in-lap. The Merc of Nick. Can't tell at the minute. Is up on his time, so we'll stay on board with Nick. Only slightly up on his time though, but only slightly can sometimes mean quite a lot here in Austria. Around the final corner, don't invalidate, he hasn't. Will this be an improvement? A very slight improvement, but not enough to gain any positions. Leaves him in P8. Paul Diver goes up to a 1:06.8. As Nisev will now cross the line. That was invalid. Is 1:04.8. Ellen on a lap, 2 tenths up. But obviously, we're expecting a big improvement given her previous lap was a 1:14.9. She needs about, I don't know, they need about 10 seconds to really put themselves in amongst the front runners here. Don't invalidate. Doesn't. A 1:04.8 puts P7. Mercedes of not Nick. That is Mr. Bean, who has just started the lap here. All on the soft tyres. Paul Diver. No, that's Icky, who's on an outlap. Then it's the RB of Jay, who's also on an outlap. Then it's Paul Diver, who is starting a lap. This doesn't look like this will be an improvement. Yeah, it might. It might. So 1:06.0 doesn't move Paul Diver up any positions, but it is an improvement. Now, Nisev hits. Malachi on an outlap. The McLaren behind him is Chug, who's on an outlap. The Merc is Mr. Bean on a lap. 45.7, purple in sector 2. Potential there to challenge Chaz's time? I don't know, I wasn't too sure on his sector 1. We caught him a bit late in the lap here. But there's still 4 drivers that have not set a lap, and that is just right at the end, invalidating. Unfortunate for him. Interesting. As Icky just sets a 104.3. That's a lap and a half. Jay then sets a 104.5 dead. Goes up to P5. 2 tenths. 3 tenths separating the top 7 here. It's just so close. Paul Diver. Very close to binning it in a wall. We got a Chocolat. I don't know if he's binned it, but he's retired and he hasn't set a lap. So he will be starting last here if everyone else can set a valid lap. Mr. Bean has invalidated here, so this will not be a representative lap. Malachi, 104.9, puts in P9. The Alpine of Ryan starting a lap. Mr. Bean has disconnected. You've got a quali ban. Okay. Chocolade has a quali ban, so that's why he's retired from the session. That makes a bit more sense. Icky, I assume, is pitting after setting that lap, and he is. The Williams of Daniel on an out lap. Jay, pitting. Paul Diver, are you on a representative lap? No. You're on an out lap. Is he going for this? I think he's slower. Here is Malachi. No, he is slightly up, so we'll watch Malachi here for the rest of this lap. He's pitting. Never mind. Demo. Pitting? Pitting. The Alpine, Ryan, pitting. The Haas of Drake, starting a lap. Not a lot of drivers out on track right now. Nis has just set a purple sector 1, so we'll probably stay on board for the rest of this lap. See if he can... Ooh, that's a bit of a drift. Obviously the handling on this stem is a bit funky, so he might be able to get away with that, and that might prove to actually help him, because the handling on the stem is different, is probably the best way of describing it, and he's purple in sector 2, so it clearly hasn't cost him time. Just now needs to not invalidate these last 2 corners. It's tricky, these last 2 corners. Doesn't invalidate penultimate fun. Drifting through the final corner. Doesn't invalidate. And this looks to be a 104.1. That's a little over the 10th. Quicker than Icky Robbo. Now we're waiting for the Haas of Drake, who is pitting. Mr. Bean on an outlap. Okay, so Mr. Bean did rejoin. That is handy. Also, he did disconnect, so it's good to see him back in the lobby. Paul Diver is on an invalid lap. Nis, we've just watched set a lap. Chaz is on an out lap. These are the only drivers out on track at the minute. No laps being set. Mr. Bean is letting people pass. Very courteous of him. Do like the helmet. Quite a nice design. Like the colour scheme. We have a McLaren out on an out lap. That is Chug. But the man we are interested in seeing will be Mr. Bean. His first lap of the session so far. If he doesn't invalidate it, well, this put him only 2 minutes 20 left in the session, so we're going to start seeing drivers come out for their final runs. It's going to be hectic. But you'd have to say this is probably Mr. Bean's last chance to go up there. 16 for in sector 1, not too bad. exit of turn 3 there is so tricky to get right. Quite hard with the traction. Down into turn 4, down the hill. Then sweeping right-hander of 5, then the fast lefts of 6 and 7. Carry a lot of speed into here. 45.7 for this is actually pretty solid. He'll be up there. Probably around Drake, I imagine, if he doesn't invalidate these last 2 corners. Keep it inside the white lines, but push it as far as you can. Okay, I don't know what's happening in this final sector, but a 105.6 is P13. Everyone on an outlap, but a purple sector 1 by Chug. I don't know who the next person is to cross the line. It's Chaz, is it not? Lots of commitment here into the last 2 corners. Barely gets away with avoiding that one. A 104.2 puts him onto the front row of the grid. As Robbo starts his final lap, we also have Nick and Ryan starting their laps. Everyone starting their laps at the minute. Next to come round will be Chud, who is nearly a tenth and a half up, which would put him around Robbo's time. What can he do in these last 2 corners? Potentially gain even more time. Lots of commitment. It's good to see these drivers fully committing for this front row here. 104.4. Slower in the end. Nis starts his lap. The Williams of Daniel goes up to the front row now. 1,000 quicker than Chaz. Mr. Bean will be starting another lap. Jay crosses the line. Will be starting a lap here. The McLaren of Ellen up to P5, a 104.3. The Haas of Drake. Slower in the end. Paul Diver takes the checkered flag. He will be P14. Robbo, 104.2. No one is beating Nis's time at the minute. Nick crosses the line. 104.7. Ryan, 105.0. Nick, P10. Ryan, P12. Malachi, 104.5. P10 replaces Nick. WXVY even, P6 or 104.4. This is tight, this quali session. We're waiting for Nis, who looks like he is on a stormer. If he can just keep this inside the track limits, this surely is a 103. It's a 104.0, so close to that 103. Daniel, not quick. Ellen and Chug hit the Mercedes of Mr. Bean. 105.1 stays P13. Jay improves only slightly, stays P8. Drake is pitting. That is everyone who has set a lap. Your grid, Nis in P1. P2 in the race in Bahrain. On pole for the race in Austria. Robbo was P3. He starts P2 here today. The one they're missing is Drake, who is all the way down in P9. Daniel, the pole sitter from round 1, in P3. Alongside him on the second row will be Chaz in the Ferrari. Ellen and WXVY share the third row. 2 thousandths of a second separating P7 and P8 in Chug and J. Drake, like we've said, down in P9, shares the 5th row alongside Malachi. Nick and Ryan, P11, P12. Not a great day for Mercedes, P11 and P13 with Mr. Bean. And I will tell you the rest when I see the rest. Mr. Bean, P13, unlucky for some perhaps. Be interesting to see if he can make progress forward in the race. But by 0.2, and that's a big margin round Austria, 0.2, Nis takes pole. We scroll the way down. Paul Diver P14 couldn't really set a competitive lap, and then Chocolade with a quali ban will start P15, but plenty of opportunities to move forward in this race. 36 laps. Bahrain was P8, Drake. Okay, so your quali isn't necessarily the problem. You just got to get through in the race. Austria definitely is a chance for progress. Lots of options for overtaking, lots of DRS zones. ERS management will be crucial. Attacking in the right places at the right times with the right strategy will give us our winner here today. There will be lots of action. I imagine there'll be a couple of safety cars, and there'll probably be some collisions that might cause a bit of controversy. But as we wait for the lights to get ready. 36 laps around the Red Bull Ring. 36 laps of what I hope will be non-stop chaos. Obviously, quali important, but Austria probably one of the less important tracks to get pole on. The focus obviously is on the race, getting the maximum points you can, because every point ultimately will count for your championship position. Obviously, in the constructors, McLaren looking strong as we are approaching 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. I need to see all this stuff. But Nis starts strong. Escapes away into the lead. Chaz P3. We could have a 3 wide moment here between Chaz, Daniel, and WXVY. Into turn 3. WXVY gets up into P3. Chaz P4. Daniel, that's a bit closer too. McLaren's fighting with the Haas of Drake. 3 wide there. Normally doesn't work. Nick, all the way down in P15 now. As there is a spin. Daniel has spun. He was fighting Chaz for P4. What's happened to him, we will not know. Struggling to get going. As Ellen fighting Malachi there. Very close in this top 10, lower top 10 pack. Mr. Bean up into P10, gets a very good start. Drake, P6, solid start. Chocolade, P11 from last on the grid. A very strong start for them indeed. And this is the close battling we want to be seeing. DRS enabled from the end of lap 2. What I would like to see, actually, is the tyres they're on. So there is only one man starting on the soft tyres, and that's WXVY. I'm going to say WXYV every time. And I know I am. There's a spin in the back there, Jay. Oh, 2 people on the hards pulled over on Nick as Malachi and Ellen fighting. 2 wide there between Chaz and Chug. Chaz maintains the position, slightly forces Chug off the track there. Wonder if the stewards will have a look at that after the race. Chug with no DRS gets passed by Drake, who settles in nicely, not nicely, into P5. That was a coming together at the end there. Chocolade up into P8. From where he is, Drake is going to go for it here. Up the inside of Chug, up into P5 already. What a start from the man who won in Bahrain. Needs to try and keep that DRS though to Chaz ahead. Already ERS is a problem for some drivers, as Malachi probably does right to back out there. Chug gets very, very close. Drake already has a 3-second time penalty for track limits. WXVY understandably sets the fastest lap, as Chocolade diving down the inside of Malachi into turn 1, up into P7. This man has had the first 2 laps of a lifetime as Mr. Bean gets past Ellen, up into P9. Are we going to see a 3 wide here? Oh, he's going to go for it up the inside of Chug as well. He is. Gets past Drake up into P6 and will get DRS on Chug. Non-stop action is what we are. Non-stop action is what we are getting here. The Alpine driver moves himself into the top 5. Can he get the exit? Yes, he can. Chug settling in just behind. No, he's not. He's diving up the inside. But the outside proved to be the right choice. And now Malachi will have to go up the inside of Chug. Oh, we're coming together and the Haas. And Chug is off. Massive coming together. We're going to see a lot of that, I reckon, so far this race. Mr. Bean trying to probably right move to back out. Ellen, P7, Mr. Bean, P8. Robbo with the fastest lap. I would have a look, but this action has been so enthralling. It's hard to take your eyes off it. There is only 4 tenths that separate our front 2. Will there be a move? No, there will not be a move just yet. A second helping of the DRS, though, will be given to Ricky Robbo on a poor exit from this. Surely now we'll see a move for the lead. Mr. Bean and Drake fighting P8. No, there's not a move. Not yet. Mr. Bean looking to get past Ellen around the outside of turn 4. That's probably not going to work. Lock up there from Ryan. Drake somehow finds his way past Mr. Bean. A bit deep from Mr. Bean. I don't know if he got tagged from behind. As now, top 3. are very close together. There is another yellow flag. Chug has spun it. And what started off as a great race has turned into a bit of a dismal afternoon for him. He's now last. Oh, the top three. Separated by merely 0.7 of a second. Surely poor exit from Icky. Will WXVY have a go here? Although, I think we'll be seeing Icky Robbo diving down the inside of this into the race lead. But Nis will pick up the DRS and surely retakes it back. Yes, he does. Chug has retired in the pit lane, our first retirement from this race. Nis retakes the lead with the DRS. Any battles further down below. Drake looking to get past Ellen here. Around the outside into turn 6. That would be a bold one. One that I don't think is going to happen. WXVY all over the back of Robbo in the Red Bull. Ultimately, consistency wins you championships, and it's still early on. It's still only round 2, but Drake's qualifying has put him in a tricky situation, and that 3-second penalty around the circuit that is very hard to pull away from will not help him. Obviously, plenty of time to recover from it, but definitely something to potentially watch out for. Don't think Robbo's close enough for a move here. Who might be close enough for a move is Chocolade. Into P4 potentially. Will he dive down the inside into turn 3? No, he won't. He bides his time well. Can he get the better exit? Gets a good enough exit, and surely now both ERS is fairly comparable, as there is a fight for the lead. Icky Robbo not quite making it. Chocolade up the inside of Chaz into P4. A nice move by him there. And keeps the position. Massive DRS chain here from P6 all the way down. P12. Chaz now with a 3-second time penalty. Track limit is a problem here, particularly in the last 2 corners. Something the drivers will definitely have to watch out for here today. It looked like Chaz extended track limits there again. Nothing too much happening at the front. I think they're just going to settle and try to pull away from Chocolade and Chaz and hope they keep fighting. Definitely something that could happen. Chaz in the slipstream as WXVY gets past Icky Robbo. Okay, maybe they'll have a fight. Malachi up the inside of Ellen. Can Drake get a better exit? Oh, it's going to be close. So Ellen does not have DRS crucially. Neither does Malachi. Drake will settle into P7 and make some progress. But now Nis has the Haas to worry about as Ryan gets past Mr. Bean. I assume that was up the inside. Into turn 4. Interesting to see when these soft tyres die out. The only man on these soft tyres, it'll be interesting to see later on in the race if that was the right decision, or he shouldn't have made it. Because already, I think Nis has more grip in the corners, and he's slightly losing touch, but the DRS will help him out in that regard. Chaz rightly doesn't go for the move into turn 1. Surely now, though, with a better exit, pulls to the outs, what will become the inside for turn 3. Surely that's an easy move with DRS, and it is. We'll keep an eye on this battle, though, because this will follow. All the way down to turn 4. Drake gets back past Ellen there, side by side. Bit chaos there, but instead we'll look at the battle for the lead. WXVY around the outside of turn 4 is never going to pay off. As Drake, PA, Ryan has somehow got up into P7 after all that. Paul Diver gets past Mr. Bean. Will he have a go on Ellen into turn 6? No, he won't. Bides his time effectively. Chocolade all over the back of Chaz. Surely he doesn't go for a move into turn 9. Rightly doesn't go for the move. And we'll have the DRS to help him. Malachi with a 3-second track limit penalty. Both Ferrari drivers with track limit penalties now. What is that camera angle? That's pretty useless. But what we will have a look at is a potential battle for P2. Icky Robbo gets a far better exit. And they're surely going to go 3 wide into turn 3. Who's latest on the brakes? It's WXVY, but his exit was shocking, and this will say thank you very much. I'll take my race lead back, and I'll take the DRS with it. WXVY, the man without DRS here. Managing to hold off Icky Robbo, Chocolate and Chaz. Fighting over P4. Chocolate wins this one. Malachi, Ryan going slow. Drake back up into P7. Ryan drops all the way down to P9. He's now fighting Paul Diver. That's going to be an interesting battle. But Paul Diver on this occasion does well to hold it. And interestingly enough, these three battling, the front three, 2 seconds. Possibly the worst timing for an Amazon parcel. WXVY pit. The Chocolate Chaz battle is now a battle for P3. I need to play it smart here because Nis has dropped Icky. 1.7 seconds is the gap. Can he continue to pull away? Is the crucial factor. And can Chocolate and Chaz work together to close in on him? This DRS train is just battling non-stop. We wait for the DRS again. Let's see what can happen. It's 1.5, the gap at the front. Coming down, but DRS will be a massive help to Ricky here, if he can get it. Chaz with DRS. I'm more interested in this battle between Malachi and Drake, because not quite a move into turn 1. Can they get the exit? We'll have a look at Chaz's battle first, because Chaz has made the move stick on Chocolade. Uses DRS to close in on Robbo. As Drake and Malachi fighting into turn 3. That looked like some carbon fibre. Front wing damage potentially. Chocolade broke to 7. I don't know, he's been alright. I mean, I don't know how he's got up into P4 from last. That's a great drive from him, in all fairness, and potentially even more. Not quite sticking it up the inside, but these two are losing too much time battling each other, but they aren't closing in on Robbo. And Robbo is actually closing in the gap at the front. He's 2 penalty points away from a race ban in round 2. Right, solid. That's slightly concerning, I'm going to be honest. There's a long way to go this season. 2 penalty points is not a lot of wiggle room. A squeaky clean drive for the rest of the season is really what's needed here. We'll keep an eye on anything that might happen here on this channel. Into turn 3, potentially, I thought he was going to try and go around the outside there, which would have been just off the track. But no, not quite. Bides his time. I want to watch this battle, but there's a massive DRS train I also want to watch. We'll keep an eye on this, see what happens. Will there be a move? No, there won't. Will Drake send it? No, Drake won't send it. DRS train fairly well behaved on this occasion. Nis the man to lead. WXVY with some clean air. On some fresh harbs. That's a very early stop. I know he was on softs though. Chocolade. How? Okay. Chocolade has made the move into P3 at probably the worst time because he's lost the DRS now. As Jay is having a terrible afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are, it's not a good one for Jay because he's 21 seconds behind Daniel. Daniel hasn't pitted, obviously spun at the start. Chaz and Chocolade into turn 3. Good racing there, thankfully. We would be interested in some Mr. Bean points. He's driven well so far, maintaining the P10. Slightly has lost DRS on his teammate though, so that'll be interesting to see what happens from that. Sort of driving a bit in no man's land. Ryan's 2.5 seconds further back, so maybe just keep driving and settle for P... No, I wouldn't say settle for P10, there's still a long way to go in this race. There is still 23 laps when this crosses the line as Ellen gets a 3-second time penalty. Time penalties are going to make a big difference, you feel, at the end of this race, as once again we're going to see a battle between Chocolate and Chaz, and they're battling so much that Malachi is dragging the rest of the pack to them. And this fight for P3 has gone from a 2-car fight to what could potentially be a 7-car fight, just to add to the chaos. Yeah, pull diver on harbs, definitely one to watch out for. Nick on harbs, still for, you know, still in there. Chocolate gets past Chaz, and Malachi doesn't have DRS yet, crucially, but is within the 1-second window. So, when they come round again, I think we'll be seeing a big DRS train if Malachi can keep within DRS of his teammate. He'll probably be very grateful for the DRS because it helps him defend against Drake. But yes, pull diver and Nick, as Nick has actually got past Ellen into P8. So these two, probably the two to watch out for potential podium, potentially more, because despite their best effort, Chocolate is, what, 4 seconds off the lead? It'll be interesting to see where they rejoin in relation to WXVY as well, because he's trying a very long undercut, but his tyres will be pretty tragic towards the end. So we'll go back on board with Chaz, see what he can do here against Chocolate. Surely, does he go for it into turn 3? No, he doesn't. Good move. Does he get the exit to challenge into turn 4? Not really, and I think he'll be more concerned about potentially fighting his teammates rather than looking ahead of him. Will the two Ferraris fight nicely? Yes, they will, for now. As Ellen has got past Nick, and now they've lost DRS on those ahead of them. That slightly hurt Nick there, in terms of chances for moving forward. Pull diver, on the other hand, right on the back of them. Is he going to go for a move here? No, he's not. He gets on the gravel, and I've seen that could bring him right into contention with Ellen. As that looks like Drake. Right. Robbo pits, Malachi pits, Mr. Bean pits, but what was that pit entry? I think he got shoved off by Drake and then just pitted, but WXVY has undercut Robbo by quite some margin, by 5 seconds. Can Robbo close down a 5-second gap to WXVY? Has this undercut actually worked? As Chaz and Chocolate going side by side, bit of contact. All's fair in love and war, they'll keep fighting for another day. Nisk now with a 3-second lead over Chocolate. This is just chaos. Nick past Ellen, P6 for Nick. Ellen has disconnected, that's really unfortunate. Ellen pits, Nis pits, Chaz pits, that'll be an undercut on Chocolate, hoping to break away from him. Drake pits, lots of people in the pit. Chocolate leads from Pool Diver, who, if he can close in and get DRS, could be in a nice position for this lap, but going wide like that into turn 1 will not help him at all. Nis has been undercut by Robbo as well. Is he in DRS of him though? Just barely. 8 tenths. That is crucial that he's within the DRS of Robbo. They are closing in on WXVY as Jay sets the fastest lap of the race. Story of what could have been for him. Drake has undercut Chaz here, but Chaz will take that place right back up into P8. And will Malachi go for it as well? You bet Malachi will go for it as well. Up into P9, potentially. Who gets a better exit? It is the Ferrari man. I love the Ferrari livery in this year's game. It's just so beautiful. As Paul Diver has a 3-second time penalty. That is interesting. Chocolate pits, as does Ryan. They're double stacking at Alpine, and that is not great team communication there, as Ryan is going to get massively held up. Now, where does Chocolate rejoin in relation to Chaz? Has the undercut worked? Yes. Chocolate is in this group, but he's not with Chaz anymore. That's his teammate. Now, Nis and Nicky Robbo have to work together to close in on WXVY. We've got a very interesting end to this race, as Ellen has retired on track, by the looks of it. Don't think that's allowed. That will be interesting to see if anything comes of that. A safety car at this stage changes this race completely. But this is a sort of podium fight. Chaz quite some way back from these two now, 3.8 seconds, and with a 3-second time penalty. Chocolate doesn't have a track limit penalty, but has also lost a DRS for those ahead of him. That will be interesting. Yeah, Nick, I'm not sure what happened to Nick. Malachi and Chaz fighting. Well, Nick got overtaken by Ellen, then he lost DRS, and then sort of was pulled away. But he is the man leading this race, as the two Ferraris continue to fight. Well, this will be an interesting one. Will Drake have an option to potentially get both of them here? Daniel fastest lap, a 106.2. There's Chocolate just lurking in the background there. 4.8. I'm not too fussed about Paul Diver and Nick yet at this stage, although they could come into play if they can fight their way through the pack. Because they'll be on mediums and they'll be quick. They'll be pitting soon as well, I imagine, as we cross the line to start lap 20. 17 laps to go in this race. It's 6 laps difference between Robbo and WXVY's tyres. Towards the end of the race, you feel like it's going to make a big difference. I thought Icky Robbo had done deep there, but alas, not alas, like, that's bad, but like, the game just showing something different to what's actually happening. Malachi, looking to get past Chaz, does get past Chaz. Chocolate getting past Drake. Oh, that's a bit of a rear-end tap there from Drake on Chaz, but, you know, no harm done for now. Wavy. Is that how you say his name? That is so much easier. I need to write this down, because his name has been annoying all race. But you're right, they aren't getting that much. That is still 4.4 seconds. So that's only gone down about a second, maybe. And look who's just picked up DRS off of a pitting Nick. It's Wavy, and that DRS could make a big difference. It won't mean too much, but every little helps, and Nis and Robbo getting past Nick. Well, Nick rejoined. He's on these mediums. Ideally, he needs to rejoin ahead of his teammate here. Rejoining behind his teammate really sets him up for a difficult afternoon. Unfortunately, I think he's going to be in a bit of a battle with his teammate here. Oh, that's really not what the sight you want to see. If you're Nick, hopefully you can use those fresh mediums to pull away and hunt down this big DRS train. Only 8 seconds behind them, so it is entirely possible. As Chocolate and Chaz fighting, Chocolate up into P6, nearly back at the front of this DRS train. It says a yellow flag. Is that Jay again? It is Jay again. Yeah, the undercut is powerful. I mean, Wavy gained, 7 seconds on this? If you include the gap between him, Robbo, and a Robbo to Nis. Well, yeah, no, so yeah, 7 seconds, so that was about 2 seconds, and it was 5 seconds ahead. Gap is 4 seconds at the minute between them two. Will they fight it out? I'm not too sure. We'll keep an eye on it. He will. They need to fart smartly? Fight smartly. God, the English language is a pain. As Chocolade and Malachi are just coming up with all sorts of shenanigans there. Surely this will be a move down into turn 4. We know Chocolade isn't afraid of a move. Smite Fartley, yeah, there we go. We can stick that in a quote bank somewhere. Around the outside into turn 6, that's going to be risky to hold it there. Doesn't hold it there. And Nick is unfortunately being dragged into a battle with Ryan and Mr. Bean. Hasn't quite been able to use those new mediums how he would have wanted to. Well, he's doing a good job. Paul Diver pits now from the race lead, and now it gets interesting. 3 seconds between Nis and Robbo. Nis and Wavy, but Nis had nearly broken DRS on Robbo. Who is that going slow? Is that Jay again? God, send my thoughts and prayers for that V-card, because, wow. Okay, the camera angle made it look like he was just sailing off into the barrier. I don't like that. That's very deceptive. We'll go back on board with this battle, because this is a whole bunch of fun. Paul Diver has rejoined, actually, ahead of this lot, which is crucial. Malachi, up into P4. I can't wait for Paul Diver to join this battle, which surely he will do. Surely he will do with how they're fighting. Chocolade gets back up into P4, and you are, as you were, the lap prior. 7.3 seconds is the gap that Paul Diver's got to close down on this DRS train. The gap, 2 seconds. Nis has a 3-second time penalty, and that changes this race completely. He has broken the DRS, but he now needs to gain 5 seconds on Wavy. That isn't easy around this kind of track. And also still needs to gain a 1.5 seconds on Robbo. The lap's ticking away here. He is hoping that Wavy and Robbo get penalties. Jay gets a penalty. As we look, continuing on with this battle, gap is only 1.5 between Nis and Wavy. Thing is, I need to not get dragged into a massive fight, because if I get dragged into a massive fight, it opens the door for these guys to try and close it. We're so close to seeing DRS here at the front. Six seconds between Paul Diver and this DRS train. What can he do to try and get a podium? Is a podium possible still for Paul Diver? 12 laps to go? I suppose anything's possible in league racing, but it has been a thoroughly enjoyable afternoon, as Nis has DRS. Can he get there and pull away? Can he? Can he pull away? He needs to make the move and get the second. He can't make the move and have a DRS fight with Wavy. That'll put him in a very compromised position. Icky has spun it and retired on track. Wavy has spun it, not Icky. Apologies to anyone cheering on Icky. Icky is still in this race. This changes because now Nis has to gain a 1.5 seconds on Icky in 11 laps. They've been so evenly matched pace-wise, though. It's tough to see how he's going to do it. But shocker, this DRS train now becomes a fight for the podium. This becomes even more intense. But Chocolade has the advantage of not having a track limit penalty. And surely you would give him the advantage here. If Daniel gets a 3 second track limit penalty. Most of the grid have a 3 second track limit penalty. Everyone gets a 3 second track limit penalty as Chaz tries to get the better exit and make a 2-in-1. That doesn't quite work. Chocolade retaking P3. And Chaz is going to send it up the inside of his own teammate. Makes the move. Up into P4 for Chaz. And Drake has also made a mistake here somewhere because he's fallen off and pulled over, has got his DRS. I'm not sure what's happened to Drake, whether he got held up by his teammate. But that was insanity. Here we go, this fight for the podium. The gap out front is 2.1 seconds. He needs less than a second. He's got 10 laps to do it. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I want a better camera angle, please. Thank you. What an exit from Chaz there. Out of turn 1. Surely that's the move wrapped up. And Malachi goes through on Chocolate as well. Oh, it's going to get a bit tight on the exit there. Bit of argy-bargy. Not my favourite type of bargy, that's the onion bargy, but we like a bit of argy-bargy as well. Around the outside of turn 4 there. Goes Chocolate, hangs it in there well. Will he go for it up the inside? Oh, who am I kidding? Of course he's going to go for it up the inside. Up into P4 goes Chocolate. Gets past Malachi. And this DRS train will continue to fight. It has been such a respectful battle, as I believe that is his second time penalty for Malachi. But you can't take your eyes off this battle. 2.4 the gap at the front. It's nearly only half a second he needs. Can this do it? Oh yeah, they're losing, like, time. They're not going to close in on those ahead of them. And Pulldiver and Drake. Pulldiver finally gets past Drake, but who knows what will happen here as Malachi and Chocolate having a fight yet again. Oh, of course he's going to send it up the inside there. Because why wouldn't Chocolate? This could let Chaz escape away a little bit. No, it's not. Forget that. Scrap that. They're gonna... Oh, he's so let's send it into turn 4 up the inside of Malachi. It is now P4 for Chocolate, but a net P3. Gap out in front, 2.7, 2.8. It's getting there. It's really getting there. I bet both drivers are pushing as hard as they can. I bet both drivers here are pushing as hard as they can for this podium spot. They all want it. What can Pulldiver do? Can Pulldiver still get this podium? Probably not. He's probably going to get dragged into this fight with Drake and Ryan. Drake with another 3-second penalty. But Chocolate can keep off. In a way, I want Chocolate to get a track limit penalty, just so this is like a fully equal fight. Apart from the fact Malachi's got 6 seconds. Okay, so it's not quite an equal fight. But between Chaz and Chocolate it would be. Oh, we want interval, we want the tyre back up. Oh, a bit of contact there between Chocolate and Chaz, but up into P3 goes the Alpine. Jay with yet another 3-second time penalty. What's he on? 6 seconds? 9 seconds? He's 23 seconds behind P11, so let's face it, it doesn't really matter. It's just a leisurely Sunday drive for him on a Tuesday. But the point still stands that he just needs to make it to the end. As we will get DRS fighting again. Chaz. Surely he doesn't go for it into turn 1. He gets a point, that is true. Something that 3 drivers behind him are not going to get by DNFing. So every point is important. That is squeezing and a half. That's like saying I want lemon juice and then squeezing the... Oh, that's off track as well. That might be... Oh, here we go. If we'll move on from my lemon juice squeezing analogy and see Malachi up into P4 Chocolate race ban? Question mark? I don't know. I'm not a steward. We will have to leave that to the people who do their job very effectively. I will do mine and carry on commentating. And we will see what happens. It's 2.9, the gap out in front. Oh, that is close. Jay's retired in the pit lane. He's not going to get a point. Oh, I wanted him to get that point. Here we go. Malachi versus Chocolade. Nothing into turn 1. Amazing game. I have not seen what's happened with your DNF, Ellen. I have no idea. Jay leaves the session. It's really gutting for him. But, okay, Malachi. There we go. I so thought Chocolado was going to send it there. He doesn't. Will he get the better exit? He will get a good enough exit. Will he be able to challenge down into turn 4 for the Ferrari? The Ferrari has 6 seconds of track limit penalties. The gap out in front is 4 seconds. As it stands, Nis will win this race despite his penalty. I don't know how he's gained 1.2 seconds, but he's gained 1.2 seconds, and full credit to him, because that's quite impressive around a track as short as this. It's like the Lord Farquaad of tracks, it's that short. But here we go. Chocolade, Chaz, Malachi, all separated by half a second. Blink and you miss them, it's unreal. 2.4 between Malachi and Robbo. Could they close him in? Possibly. There's only 5 laps to go, so it'd be unlikely, especially with how hard they're fighting, as Chocolade goes back past. But Malachi will remain on the inside. No, he won't. Ignore that. Gets the exit, but Malachi will have the DRS. Move down into turn 4. We've seen it many times this race between these three, and we're seeing it yet again. Bit of a tangle there, but otherwise Chocolade maintains P3. The skill of these drivers is incredible. Like, I am washed on this game. The ability to keep it that close and not make contact is something to be respected. As Ryan and Drake fighting, Nick has really not had fun on those mediums. He's gone backwards. Mr. Bean up in P9 now asked his teammates. But we're not focused on that. What we're focused on is this DRS battle that has been raging since lap 2. 2 seconds between them and Robbo ahead. It's unlikely that anything happens in that regard. You feel like Robbo at this point is just taking his P2, keeping the consistency. He'll be back to fight another day. Will Chaz and Malachi have a fight here? No, they won't. It'll be Malachi and Chocolade up the inside into turn 4. Surely that's P3 for the Ferrari driver. Yes, it is. Does the switchback work for Chocolade? It might. It probably won't, because Malachi has the inside line, and the gap is now only 1.5 seconds. Yellow flag, that's Ryan going slowly. Gets back up to racing speed. Down in P8 for him now. But here we go, 1.4. I want them to catch, because this is exciting. Obviously, Robbo doesn't have a track limit penalty, so it'd be ultimately meaningless. But it would be good fighting anyway. And we all are a fan of racing. And oh, that is a tank slapper and a half there from Malachi on the exit. Surely, with the DRS, Chocolade is surely going to have a go into turn 3. Round the outside. Ryan Bartes has retired in the pit lane. That's no points for him this race. And they're so close to this DRS of Robbo behind. And Chocolade is really the only man that can properly profit from it. He also, with no track limit penalties. Is he going to get in DRS? Oh, it's so close. It's half a tenth. I'm going to watch potentially Mr. Bean make an overtake on his teammate into turn 4 around the outside. Switchback. Does he get the exit? Not quite. Does Chocolade have DRS? The gap is 0.8 of a second. He will have DRS here. And now this DRS train has become a slight bit bigger. Now there's a Red Bull involved. The win is probably done and dusted, barring catastrophic mistakes from the Sauber. But the fight for P2 is now a proper fight for P2. Choco has definitely had the pace to win this race. Oh, the two Ferraris! come together. Chaz rams into the back of his teammate, and Malachi drops to P5. What has happened with Chaz there? A moment of madness, perhaps. But he wants to get a move on. That looked like a proper ramming of Malachi there. Obviously, Malachi has more track limit penalties. Chaz wants to be in this fight. Wow. Okay. As we are heading onto the final lap of the race. Nis has a 6-second lead. He can get another track limit penalty and still be okay. But he shouldn't need to worry. This is the fight we all want to see. Chocolade and Robbo for P2. And if any collisions happen, potentially the two Ferraris to pick up the pieces. Final lap time. Here we go. Turn 1 isn't where the move will be made. If it will be made anywhere, it will be turn 3 or it will be turn 4. Will Robbo play it smart and potentially try and get the DRS into the run down to turn 4? Will Chocolade have a go? Oh, you bet he'll have a go into turn 3. Gets the move done. Gets the DRS crucially as well. Robbo will probably still get the podium nonetheless. Because of track limit penalties, Chaz moves up into P3 on the track, but will not get it due to penalties. Robbo will be P3, but Chocolade has driven well from last on the grid to P2 here. Obviously, stupid incidents will be monitored. I'm not aware of any of those. But for now, that should be the last move, you feel. But now, crossing the final corner, Nis finished P2 in Bahrain. Wins the Austrian Grand Prix for X3. Dominant drive, pulling that gap that he needed to pull. Chocolade with P2. It will be Robbo P3 after Chaz serves his track limit penalties. Malachi P5. Paul Diver will get P6. Didn't really make any progress on those mediums. Drake P7 after winning the season opener. The two Mercedes. Could Mr. Bean do it on the line? Could he do it on the line? Oh, no, because of track limit penalties anyway. But 0.02 of a second between them at the start finish. And P10, I believe that was that Daniel that stuck it out to the end there. What a race. Chocolade, probably a deserving driver of the day with that P2. Drake says he'll be removing 3 seconds. I'm not sure what that will change to the results, if any. But a tricky race, you'd have to argue, for the man that won the season opener. Just got caught in DRS battles, really was his undoing. Nis, superb drive. Had the 3-second track limit penalty, but managed to pull away when it mattered. Wavy spun it. Who knows what this race would have been if Wavy did not spin it, because that battle could have been very interesting. The podium celebrations will go long into the night for Sauber. 2.6 seconds his margin of victory due to that penalty at the end over Chocolade, with Robbo close behind in P3. The two Ferraris provided a lot of entertainment in this race, but it'll be P4 and P5 for them. Paul Diver did well from P14 on the grid. Race director, these are all the incidents. But race director here of the results. Drake P7. Okay, fine. We know roughly where everyone finished anyway. Drake P7, the two Mercedes P8 and P9, and P10, Daniel, stuck it out to the end, gets his points. But this has been the Austrian Grand Prix. It has been a thoroughly entertaining one, if I might add. I've enjoyed it. Next week, I imagine will be just as fun. Maybe not quite as chaotic, because Austria normally tends to foster chaos. But a long way still to go in this season. I'm sure the title fight will be incredible. And, I mean, look, you've got to stay tuned to find out what happens next week. Obviously, tomorrow, do we have more races tomorrow? Is it X1 tomorrow? Wednesday? I believe it's X1 tomorrow. I should know the schedule. If anyone can enlighten me, it is X1 tomorrow. So that, obviously, our top tier. definitely tune in to watch that one, because it's going to be chaotic again, probably, but a slightly more balanced form of chaos. But this has been X3. This has been Austria, and I'll see you all next time.